Can we start the meeting? Or Stan? Jimmy? If you'd stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and remain standing for a moment of silent prayer.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
If you'll remain standing for a moment of silence, please. The first item on the agenda are public comments. People can go to the microphone and give their name and address, please. You can also discuss each item on the agenda, or you can talk about it in the beginning of the agenda. It's up to you. The time limit is 3 minutes. Are there any public comments?
Jennifer Spohr, I live at 573 Kansas. I came in to comment on the snow removal ordinance. I appreciate the spirit of the ordinance and safety, but I'm concerned that it lacks compassion for handicapped people, disabled people. I think that if somebody has a medical excuse that they can't remove the snow, that they should be exempted or at least not have fines leaned against them because maybe they're not able to work or maybe they're on disability and can't afford the fines and can't afford to hire somebody to take care of the snow removal.
Thank you. Are there any public comments? Any other public comment?
Stephen Hudak, 553 Malbach. Thanks to the board for being here and also spending a lot of hard work during the work session. I just wanted to comment, Washtenaw sidewalks. I hope whoever's working on this will keep pushing ahead on it, because it's been a long time. The Washtenaw initiative has been, 8, 9, 10 years. But you're just working on trying to fix and put in sidewalks in Washtenaw where there aren't sidewalks. It will also look a lot better for people coming into town off of US 23, say after going to Eastern or so. So I hope you'll keep pushing ahead on that.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other public comment?
My name is Sean O'Connor. I live at 1076 Janet Avenue. I have a few comments about the snow ordinance. My concern is, who is this ordinance for? From what I can tell, it's for citizens walking down the sidewalk in the wintertime. I don't think we should be in the position of legislating the weather and response to the weather in that manner. I don't think that this ordinance is in the best interests of our citizens and homeowners for the reasons that another concerned citizen brought up. One person's rights is another person's responsibility. So if an ordinance is saying that a citizen has a right to walk down a sidewalk clear of ice and snow within a 24-hour period of that ice or snow falling or being formed, then it's the responsibility of every homeowner or property owner to clear that ice and snow. I don't believe that this is the direction that this Board of Trustees should take. And I think the responsibility lies in the individual who's walking down the sidewalk to wear appropriate clothing, which includes appropriate boots, and to be able to traverse sidewalks, roadways, when the snow is falling. It's part of being a human walking around in the wintertime. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other public comments at this time?
My name is Arloa Kaiser. I live at 1421 Melvin Street, and this young lady mentioned about people with disabilities. This is nothing against them. The thing of it is that the sidewalk whether it's cleaned or not, whoever lives in the home has to clean their sidewalk and driveway to get from the house to that sidewalk if they so choose. And if I don't want to do that and want to walk on the snow, I should be allowed to walk on the snow in front of my house. And I think that we should still have some rights. And according to the petitions, I found that most people were against the snow ordinance, and yet this other gentleman says 85% of the people were for it. I don't believe those numbers, but anyway. And there's always going to be someone who is going to complain to force people to pay, and that's pay through the nose with a lot of people who do not have the money.
Thank you. Are there any other?
Go right ahead.
Joanne McCullum, 1900 Tyler Road. One of the problems with a snow ordinance that it includes citations and fines for homeowners in the township. They would have to fund increased staffing to enforce compliance and do sidewalk snow removal as a bill the violators. Either our taxes would have to increase or we would have a decrease of services in another area. No matter how you look at it, we would be paying more to clean snow when the township already has a sizable amount of homeowners cleaning their walks in front of their homes. So I don't believe we need a snow ordinance. Like I said before, I think we should have like a campaign of, help your neighbors out, be neighborly, or something like that.
Thank you. Any other comments?
Mike Morocco, I'm a lieutenant with the Sheriff's Office, and I'm the operational lieutenant here in Ypsilanti Township. I'm responsible for the delivery of police services to the citizens here. And I wanted to talk about a couple things. First thing I'd like to talk about is we had a recent uptick in some youth violence, which resulted in a tragic incident over at 2375 Grove with the death of a young man over there. As in many of these situations that arise, that type of violence is perpetrated by a small group of individuals within our community. And what we've been doing, and I've been keeping the board and director of, what is it, Mike? Director of?
Office of Community
Standards in the loop, trying to keep them up to speed in what we are doing. I can tell you that we are focusing on a small group of individuals, which over the last week has resulted in a number of key arrests, and we are currently monitoring the situation that is ongoing. Obviously, I can't get into operational issues because I don't want to give away our secrets of how we do things, but I can tell you that there are significant resources dedicated to following up on the situations that we're dealing with in that fashion. Again, I've spoken with many of you directly about it, and I can tell you that we are on the case and we're working it hard, and we're putting a lot of people onto it to make sure that we can try to eradicate this from our neighborhoods. Now, on a positive point, I would like to thank Miss Joanne McCullum for her efforts in the West Willow. The neighborhood associations there have been very active for a lot of years. And I think what we're seeing today is basically the fruits of that labor over time. We just had the West Willow Youth Council. I mean, like Joanne and I were talking about, we have middle school kids asking for meeting times within the neighborhood center there to discuss ongoing issues. I mean, that's what we were about, right? That's what we were trying to do, because we're not a solution. We're part of a solution. You're not the solution. You're part of the solution, but we need the neighborhoods engaged. And I would like to thank you, Joanne, for being a big part of that over the last 10 years or so that I'm aware of anyway. Thank you.
Lieutenant Morocco, I'm also going to share, we had 11 larcenies from vehicles, right?
Yes, we did. Lock your cars.
Yeah.
Every car that was broken into was unlocked. It's kids walking down the street, pulling on door handles, and they go in and take your stuff.
Yeah.
It's that simple.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for all your work, Lieutenant. Under new business, wait, let me get to my. We have the consent agenda, which is minutes of the June 19th work session, closed session, and regular meeting.
Support.
Motion Rowe, support Wilson. Other questions or comments? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Statements and checks for July 3rd, 2018, statements and checks for July 17th, 2018, the Clarity Healthcare Deductible, ACH, for June of 2018, and Clarity Healthcare Administration for June of 2018 for approval.
So moved.
Support.
Motion Eldridge, support Rowe, Heather Rowe. To approve statements and checks and for all the above. Are there questions? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. The treasurer's report is in the packet. Treasurer Doe is not here. He's in Europe. So we need a motion of support to accept the treasurer's report.
Motion to accept the treasurer's report.
Motion Ross Williams.
Support.
Support Rowe, trustee Gerald Rowe. Questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Attorney's report, Mr. Winters?
Yes, Madam Chair, in regards to Liberty Square, as you know, the Township Board did authorize our office to try and initiate to purchase the 6 remaining vacant parcels in that former housing development. 3 of the 6 owners have agreed so far, and those closings will be taking place actually in July, the first, at least 2, maybe all 3. And so that's going forward. In regards to the Washtenaw Avenue easements, as part of the Reimagine Washtenaw, you received different updates in regards to the status of the easements that are being requested through the county redevelopment coordinator, Nathan Vogt, and Charlotte Wilson here at the township with our assistance. And we're not there just yet. We have half of those easements in place, and the rest of those are out, and we think we're going to be able to push this across the finish line. In regards to the additional easement that came up for the property, for the pedestrian crossing, it was first identified as being by the Checkers property, and actually it's by the Asian Market property. That easement has been prepared, and I think they're trying to arrange contact as to with the property owner to see if we can obtain that easement for a safe future pedestrian crossing at that location. It's been a long journey, and I think we're not there yet, but we're going to keep on pushing because the sidewalks are for the benefit of people that can safely travel. I've watched many people try and cross Washtenaw myself going down there, and it's kind of at times very scary to watch people try to cross at locations that are not properly identified as being crossing crosswalks. So anyways, this is the first step to try and get this Washtenaw easements under our control and the county's control so we can implement the Reimagine Washtenaw corridor plan. In regards to Galt Village, there was active requests made by my law partner Dennis McLean, Mike Radzik, and township officials to try and use some of the monies that are currently being held by the receiver to address some of the immediate issues in regards to the Galt Village parking lot. This past weekend, the receiver, Carl Fink, did come out to the site, inspected it again, and has requested the township to provide a potential list of contractors to address the asphalt parking lot immediately, as well as to address the blight and rubbish. And there are funds in the receiver account to pay for that service. So I'm not sure if we have provided Mr. Fink with names of contractors for the asphalt. I think he has some names for the, Mike shaking his head, yes, we have, so that's good. And but at the same time, I just want to bring this to the attention because I know that Brenda continues to go to the neighborhood watch and has those meetings, and people continue to bring that issue up to all township officials. At the same time, we also receive emails, or I know some board members do, from residents who also continue to be very vigilant as to the condition of the parking lot. And so I think, again, being persistent is going to carry through. I did receive today, on a different matter, an email from Mary Miller on Forbes Cleaners, and I'll send this to the board later on, but in her email, she did send out a question and answer in regards to vapor intrusion for the residents who are going to have some tests performed on their property to ensure that there's no contamination for the groundwater. And so those letters have been sent out, and they're planning on actually doing the surveys the week of July 30th, and that the groundwater and soil gas sampling will begin the week of August the 6th. Right now, they have received bids from the contractors to demolish the building, and those bids are currently being evaluated. So they're moving forward. I got this email today, and I'll share it with the board later on this week, probably around night. And so I'll send this out to you. But they are moving forward, and they have notified the residents as to what they're doing and why they're doing it, and they have a plan of action to demolish the Forbes dry cleaners. So there's a lot of different things moving in different directions. Sometimes you kind of go from, nuisance abatement to Washtenaw Avenue easements back to Liberty Square and Galt Village, and it's such a myriad of issues that sometimes you're trying to prioritize and reprioritize because they're all important. The question is, how do you devote your time to get the best benefit for the township? And again, that's an ongoing challenge, and so the board and all the staff and departments and employees do a tremendous job to help us maybe sort out and prioritize what needs to be done first. But sometimes you have to just do everything simultaneously, or multitask. I guess that's the more correct word. So that's kind of a brief summary of what's going on for tonight's board meeting, and any questions I'll be glad to answer.
Budget amendment number 11 under new business. Clerk Rowe.
I have a motion to amend the 2018 budget. It's the number 11. It's 11th amendment to increase the general fund by $8,148, and that's for PTO payouts, and also to purchase a trailer later on the agenda to $10,074,881, and approve the line item changes as outlined in the general fund, and move to increase the bike, sidewalk, rec, roads general, the BSR 2 fund budget by $20,540, and that's for another item on the agenda tonight for the non-motorized study to $2,128,555, and approve the line item changes as outlined, and to increase the law enforcement fund by $3,429, also for a PTO payout to $7,275,770, and improve the line item changes as outlined. I would so move the amendment to the budget.
Support.
Motion Clerk Rowe, support Eldridge. Discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next item is request of AT&T for a Metro Act right-of-way permit extension for a term to end December 31st of 2023. Clerk Rowe.
I would so move that we approve the extension as outlined in your packets to the term ending December 31st, 2023.
Support.
The motion by Rowe, supported by Trustee Eldridge, to approve the extension. Did we get a map?
Did they send it? We asked for everything after that meeting, but we didn't receive it. We asked for a map of the past things where they've actually got a TNT available in the right of way, but they didn't receive it.
Madam Chair, I know that in the past when we did some other Metro Act, I can't remember what company it was for, but there was some other issue with them not providing that information that we needed. Because I know we have the 30-day time frame, but we don't have all the information. I mean, I know it's just a renewal, but this is like the second time it's come up. And, we'll have to
We
review this.
tabled it before.
Oh, you're right, we did do that.
Yeah, but I'm not sure. Attorney Winters, have you had the opportunity to review the existing agreement and the extension?
Actually, I think Supervisor, I think Clerk Rowe did have a discussion with my law partner, Dennis McLean, about this. I looked at this briefly. The thing that's not really clear to me is that this is an extension. The Metro Act they have is good through December 31st of this year. They're asking for a 5-year extension. During our meeting we had with them internally, we asked some questions, and there was, my choice of words, some vagaries as to what this was about, and they seem to be kind of just saying it's going to continue on with what they already have. I'm not really sure. I think Denny did check with the state of Michigan, and he was told, I believe, that we treat the extension request in the same manner as we do an actual new request. And so I would say whatever we've done in the past is what we should do now. I'm just not really sure if you have all of the information that we've requested, because, again, during the one meeting that we all were at, I don't think they really themselves answered the questions that you asked.
Correct.
So,
Denny's, just for the record, Denny's, they asked for 30 days. The law is 45. So we actually have to take action at this board meeting based on the law. They did come, 2 representatives came to, one of the things that we always want to know is what is your plans for the future? What in the past we've asked for is a map about the future. Their model is different. So that's not the map we asked for, because they don't have that kind of map, because they actually, when a subdivision comes in, then they ask. So they do it in response to a business comes in, then they act. They don't have a plan, just like the other ones were coming in just to lay fiber down. And like the one I remember in particular, I think the latest one was on the west side. He was going to actually do residential, and they actually had a map. Here's where we're going to lay the line. AT&T does it. Their model's different. The map that we asked for at that meeting was, well, can we get a map of everywhere that you're at? And both of those individuals said they would, which they would go back and ask for that, even though they're not kind of at that level of the organization. But the person who contacted us about this permit, we did send a request to them and ask them for the map of where they are currently at where they're currently at. So that's kind of it.
Madam,
Trustee Monica Rosby?
maybe, I'm sorry, I understand that we have to take action, I guess, for part of 45-day law. But I am confused. If there's not a map, what are we? We're just approving the Metro Act here? We're approving?
You're approving the right for them to go in the right-of-way in Ypsilanti Township because they're not planning on it. So let's say a new subdivision comes in, then they're going to have the right-of-way, and they still have to go up through the building department, but they have a right to be in that right-of-way in Ypsilanti Township, which frankly, under the Metro Act, unless you have like some really good reason, Denny always says we have to vote on it, and you can't, I don't even know a reason that we could deny it. I guess if there was criminal behavior or something, but this whole new law that changed many years ago pretty much gave the companies the authority to be in your right-of-way unless you can come up with a really good reason. But
Are
that's
they
what you're
here?
approving, is the right for them to be there. No, and we also asked for them to come to the meeting.
To answer questions?
Yeah. So,
And they chose not to?
Yep.
Can we table it? Is that action?
We have to take, we're past the time.
Madam Chair, are we, yeah, we're like
And then there's a
47.
real high fines, so like it's not in favor. When the law was passed, it was not in favor of the municipalities at all. It was basically a gift to all those who are in this business. The good news is, all those coming in, there's a lot more competition. So I think that in terms of what I already know, Comcast has actually even responded with better rates on their internet, because we have more, because there's a lot more competition. I think that's going to continue. But yeah, Denny's response was, yeah, we have to act within the 45 days from the time we got it, which meant that we have to act on, it was this board meeting.
When did we receive it?
I was just looking at that.
June 1st is the date of the letter, but
June 1st is, yeah.
That's the date like they put, but it's the date. Would you know the date that we actually received it? It was stamped in, Lisa? Yeah.
I can't read it. Can't read
Yeah,
it.
it was a lot later than the date that they wrote it. Yeah. No, it says right here, it was on June 11th. It was received on June 11th. So 45 days was the time limit, which took us right to this.
Madam Chair?
Yeah.
So could we just make a motion, move to approve because we have to, and also just include that we would like them to continue to send us all the information that our board has requested. And in addition to that, maybe just talk with our representative, Peterson, about proposing some change to just give townships or municipalities more than 45 days. I mean, I'm sure if it's a problem for us, the MTA probably would support.
I thought they had to provide a map. I just thought that was part of the Metro Act, is to provide the map. But I don't know.
I know also in the past, there's a bond that's required. I don't know if they're using, is there a current bond on file?
I think the way that's worked in the past, at the time they come and pull the permits actually upstairs, and that's when they ask for that's when they have the bond on file. I don't know if there's a current, I'm assuming that there is, but I don't know that.
There should be a bond now, because they already have one. They already have one right now. They're asking to extend something that has not even expired yet. But if you approve a contingent, approve a contingent upon these conditions, as Heather was indicating, including making sure all the paperwork's on file, the bonds, the maps, and everything else.
Because I don't know if you remember, we asked for that before, and then Denny said they don't have to provide the bond until they actually pull the actual permit. It's not.
But they have a permit. They have a permit now, though. I thought.
Right. I meant for the future bond that related to this application.
I know they came to a development team meeting unexpectedly, and which I'm glad they came in, but the people we were talking to, Karen, did not have any answers to anything. And a map helps us so we know if they are pulling the necessary permits that are necessary. And also, a lot of residents ask, is AT&T available in these developments? And we have no idea. And I mean, to not even provide a pass map, that was suspect. And the original agreement was really old. And it had different language in there that talked about not doing cable and internet. And that's exactly what AT&T is proposing to do. But their original agreement, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just have a lot of, I don't want to get a fine by no means, but I have a lot of questions. Maybe contingent upon I don't know. I don't know how to get the answers without getting a fine, because I don't want to do that. But I don't think they should just get whatever they want when they won't come to a meeting and won't provide information. That doesn't seem appropriate.
Well, if the application was received on June 11th, this is July 17th, we're talking about 36 days right now.
Yeah.
It was the 45 days you have to do it now?
It's 45 under the law.
Today's 36, today is day 36.
And they're not required to attend, or just, I mean, I know they're powerful. I know they have a lot of money, all the cable companies and whatnot, but to not have to come to a board or provide the information, the Metro Act is very flawed if that's the case. I agree.
Yeah, and I just think it wouldn't hurt to I'm happy to email Ronnie and just ask for him to propose some revisiting it on whatever committee handles the Metro Act, like Commerce or whatever. Just to change, for all local.
Why don't we give them a 1 year?
Well, 45 days just isn't really a long time for local boards to meet, and if we have questions, or, some townships don't even have their attorneys present at all meetings, so 45 days is really not fair for townships or any municipality to be under the gun for a huge fine that
It's definitely by design, and the fine, I mean, if you look at, I mean, it's huge. I mean, so this was actually, there's no question this was passed not to give us information or to help the municipalities, but to help all those that are in this business.
Madam Chair, I just think this is, I agree with you. To not have the information to even know what is actually going on, besides the fact that they, obviously want to extend some services in the township, don't know where, is just ridiculous. And I agree with trustee Gerald Rowe. We definitely need to, try and contact the state representative to see if there can be some proposals or something. 45 days, and I have to question also when this was even put in. June 1st or June 11th?
It was June 11th. It's
Yeah.
time stamped in.
Thank you.
Yes.
Was that done because it's summer session for the township board? And that means that, they would be able to use to advantage of the 45-day rule because they know that the township board is meeting in summer session. I don't know, but I have a lot of reservations about this. I understand, I know we're facing a fine if we don't approve it, but the way that this has been done is just not acceptable.
Mr. Winter, did you?
Well, and what I think I would do, you could consider doing, this is day 36. If you want to table it and have a special meeting next week, and then, because I think that right now, I know that Denny made a phone call to Lansing, but again, the problem I'm struggling with is the 45-day rule. Why does it apply if someone already has an existing permit? This is an extension request. And why are they asking for 5 years as opposed to 1 year? I think there are legitimate questions, and I hate to put the board in a bind by saying come back in 9 days, but I don't know what else to do because, and Denny may have some more insight in regards to the conversation he had, but again, you're not denying them a permit. They have a permit right now. They want to extend it 5 more years.
Doesn't expire until December of 2018 either.
What Denny said in his email, which I have, he said, you treat this the same as if they were applying for a permit, which means everything's exactly the same. Because the other ones are like 10 years old. They get them for long periods of time. They don't get them just for a year. Like this one was how many years? 20, 15, something?
20.
The other one, yeah, I mean, they don't ask for 1 year at a time. So I know that's what he said. You treat it exactly the same as if it's a brand new permit. So.
You have 9 days. That's why I'm saying you have 9 days to get better answers if you.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
I would withdraw the support and make a motion to table until next Tuesday, July 28th. No. 25th. At 9 a.m. That keeps us within the 45 days and gives us 5 business days to work on it.
Support.
Can I just need
We have a
clarity.
motion and we
We
have a
need clarity
motion.
on what we're, yeah, but he added a bunch of other stuff. He made more than a table motion.
He motioned to table. He withdrew his support of Heather. And
I don't even know what I'm supposed to ask them for. They're not required.
to attend a meeting, that would be helpful, right? Wouldn't that be helpful? And a map?
But they said their model they don't do that. They do it at specific requests, and the maps that we got before were to the future.
Well, we asked for existing,
Right.
Karen.
I know, but that's not required as part of the
We have a motion and support to table until July 28th, unless they agree to
12th,
wait
yeah,
to the
25th.
25th, unless they agree to to wait. So there's a motion support. Gerald Rowe?
Yeah?
Tabling? But there's a motion support to table, so we have to vote.
Because we're tabling.
Because it's
Okay,
tabling.
Yes,
Yeah,
sorry. Yes.
Eldridge?
Yes.
Ross Williams?
Yes.
Rowe?
No.
Stumbo, yes. Wilson?
Yes.
This is tabled until the 25th,
When was it? What day?
Next Tuesday, the 25th.
July 25th.
Madam Chair. I was just searching it really quick because I wanted to pull up the actual language of the Metro Act, but interestingly enough, on the LARA department, which is like the licensing and regulatory affairs website, there's actually a spotlight for the AT&T Michigan 5-year permit extension. So, like, I mean, that's not just on a state web, I think that must be a new trend or something they're doing. But.
Yeah. Hopefully they'll come and answer some simple questions.
Can I just point of clarification? Because I wasn't sure I heard the same thing in the motion as I heard you repeat back, but maybe it is the same. You said unless they do something. Is this tabled to then no matter what? Because you said something about unless they agree to.
The next regular board meeting, that
The
would be
next
helpful,
board
right?
meeting, okay.
I mean, if they agree to wait until the next, waive the 45-day requirement until the, right? All right, next item on the agenda is a resolution 2018-19, which is a division of a platted lots in Ypsilanti Little Farms subdivision. Clerk Rowe?
I would so move the resolution number 18-19.
Brian, we have a motion?
Support.
Support by Gerald Rowe. Brian, could you give an overview of what's?
Brian McCleary, Assistant Assessor. The Assessor's Office received a land division application requesting a boundary line adjustment for 273 and 275 South Ford Boulevard from Jody Gendon from Gendon Properties LLC. They operate Reflections Custom Cycles there, and what they had is an encroachment on the property line on the actual building, and as this is a platted lot in a subdivision, we require the board to actually approve the change. As you can see, the next, if you go down one more, pick to the platted lot, the initial platted lots on there
Goes
have
right
been
through the
divided
building.
in the, right, that picture right there. You can see that the 66, 67 are originally coming from Russell Avenue down. They're long, skinny lots, and in the past, those have been divided out. The yellow highlighted is the two properties in question now, and as the boundary line adjustment is requesting a change to what's already been as of record, then the board has to approve it because of the platted lot. So the survey on the packet just basically removes the encroachment on the actual building and adjusts the lot line on there, on the property.
And the board has to vote to approve because
The board has
it's
to approve it.
amending the plat, is that what it is?
Well, you're right. Well, it's amending the approved lot lines. The plat is still the same as it was, but at some point in the past, the changes have been approved
Okay.
by the board. And so when a secondary change takes place, the board then has to approve it again.
Questions or comments for Ryan? Where's this located? Is it right next to the,
South Ford Boulevard, right,
by the park and?
the top of the lot stops at Russell Avenue.
Okay.
So you got the party store in that little strip center, and then right south of that is this property.
Okay. So I was in the wrong location.
It's Reflections Polish Cycles. It's a cycle shop.
Oh, okay. So it's on the other side. I'm on the wrong side of the road.
East side.
Yeah,
East side.
All right, I got you. That's, all right. Any questions or comments? We have a motion and support. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item number 4 is request approval of proposal from Carlisle Wortman for services to prepare a non-motorized transportation plan in the amount not to exceed $20,540, which is budgeted in line item 212-212-000-801-000.
Move to approve.
Support.
Motion Wilson, support Eldridge. Discussion?
Madam Chair?
Yes.
Just a comment. I'm glad to see this is moving forward, and I think that this will be great for the township. So just as that was pretty much my comment.
Okay, thank you. There's a motion support, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item number 5 is a resolution 2018-20. It's a resolution of support for Hewitt Road Safety Improvements Grant application.
So moved.
Support.
Motion, Gerald Rose, support Eldridge. So basically, this is for the 2020 funding cycle, but the Road Commission can apply for the grant on our behalf. They are asking that we agree to pay for the matching funds and construction engineering costs as designated by the grant. In our conversations with them, they did say that they would look at helping to provide that engineering. So they didn't want us to put in the resolution, but they did say they're willing to look at partnering with us. And this is on Hewitt Road where there was a pedestrian accident and 2 of his dogs were killed. And so it really needs to be changed, and this is the beginning of that process.
Madam Chair, just to add to, I mean, it was so tragic that his dogs passed, but one of our township residents was like seriously, physically injured himself. As
Really
well.
bad.
So
Yeah.
very much needed.
We have a motion support. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. The next item is Resolution 2018-18, the first reading, which is an ordinance amending the Charter Township Ypsilanti Code of Ordinances, Chapter 46, which is the Township Parks, Section 61. Clerk Rowe.
Yes, I have an ordinance and a resolution to amend ordinance number 2018-479, whereas the Ypsilanti Township Code of Ordinances, Chapter 46, currently contains regulations prohibiting the possession of air or gas soft guns, including paintball guns in township parks. And whereas the Michigan legislature has expanded the definition of firearms which are permitted under the Michigan's open carry law, and whereas the expanded definition includes possession of guns which expel a BB or pellet by spraying gas or air, and specifically including paintball guns that expel plastic balls filled with paint, whereas the Township Code provision prohibiting the possession of air and gas soft guns, including paintball guns, conflicts with the expanded definition of the firearms permitted under the Michigan's open carry law, be it resolved, or therefore be it resolved, that ordinance 2018-479 is hereby adopted by reference. I would so move the resolution 2018 and the revisions to ordinance number 2018-479.
We have a motion and support to approve the first reading. Are there any questions on this?
Madam Chair, I just want to make sure I'm reading the ordinance change correct, and I understand that state law is causing this. So basically, a person would be able to carry a gas soft gun or a paintball gun into a park, but they couldn't discharge it?
Correct. It's under the open carry state law. So we're amending the ordinances to equal state law.
Okay. Well, I'll just put this comment. I understand that we have to comply with state law, but this one, because of incidents with paintballs and guns in parks, I am going to have a difficult time on this one. I'm going to vote no.
Any other comments or questions on
Great work they're doing in Lansing.
that? Huh? Great work, you're saying?
They're doing in Lansing, they're just getting to work.
Yeah, and actually, the residents brought this to our attention, that it wasn't in alignment with state law, so,
And, yeah, we've had a couple of things.
yeah.
Our panhandlers, remember? We had to change our ordinance about that.
Well, guns, too.
Yeah.
We did not allow carrying guns in our parks, and state law, says you have the right to do it, and you cannot be more restrictive than state law. So no one likes to do it, but we have to follow the law, I guess. I understand. So we have to do a roll call vote because it's an ordinance, which is a law, and this is first reading.
Yes.
Gerald Rowe? Eldridge?
Yes.
Ross Williams?
No.
Rowe?
Yes.
Stumbo votes yes. Wilson?
Yes.
The first reading is approved. The second reading will be at the next board meeting. Is that correct, Lisa? Yeah. Number 7 is request authorization to extend the contract with Ypsilanti National Little League for the 2018 season from September 1st, 2018 through November 1st, 2018, and allow the 3 full-time officials to approve these amendments in the future.
So moved.
Second.
Motion Eldridge, support Ross Williams. Discussion?
I'd like to add an amendment and have that to be carried through all the contract as recommended by the attorney through 2020.
So you don't think it says that? Or?
No, but
It
we're
says
just doing
it.
it for 1 year.
And to allow the 3 full-time officials to approve these amendments in the future?
Our attorney, I don't want to speak for him, has recommended that if we're going to do this every year, we might as well, why don't we just change the agreement and just allow that through the year 2020? And that's what my amendment was that I moved. I don't know if I got to support those.
Accepted.
So we're going to amend it for the extension through 2020, is that what you're suggesting, Mr. Winter?
Yeah, the current contract goes through 2020, and apparently they want to do a fall league this year, and they've also indicated, I think, to maybe Wayne Dudley or even to Lisa today, that they want to do it in 1920, so just amend the contract one time,
To 2020?
2020, and then they're going to have it. And then at the same time, I think they did provide the insurance certificate that appears to be current and in fact, so it's all good to go.
Okay.
I didn't get the motion. Was by whom?
Eldridge, supported by Ross Williams.
Thank you.
Okay, we have a motion and support with a friendly amendment. Are there any questions or comments? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. The next item on the agenda is to request a Mike Radzik, OCS Director, for authorization to seek legal action if necessary to abate the public nuisance for property located at 2124 Bomber and 1217 Davis in the amount of $20,000, budget in line item 101-950-000-801-023.
So moved.
Support.
Motion Rowe, support Wilson.
I think we've actually already filed, haven't we, Doug, on this one?
We have on...
This was administrative approval that we gave, and yeah.
one on, Davis.
Bomber.
Davis is
Getting ready to go, yeah.
Can we, I don't know if the pictures will.
Photographs inside the house were the ones that we don't have that were pretty disgusting on Davis Street.
You might give a warning.
Yeah. You know, even though the foreclosures are going down a lot over the past, we still receive 1 or 2 a week, to be honest, since we've done this. But to see houses in these conditions existing in the neighborhoods is, we still have to continue to fight the blight and protect residents and taxpayers' investments, so.
Absolutely.
Yeah, the one on Davis Street was overrun by rodents, and during the heat wave we've been having and the garbage that was inside the house, it was absolutely a health hazard.
Right.
And that's why we sought administrative approval. That one has been filed. And Bomber, well, it kind of speaks for itself what you're looking at. You can walk through the house almost the way it is right
It was
now.
unbelievable. And the one owner is from where? Ann Arbor, I think?
I think that
I
both
think
are
all these were in Saline, was it Saline?
Davis was Ann Arbor.
in Arbor City.
Yeah. They should live next to the conditions of their houses.
And I would just add as a comment to what Supervisor Stumbo said, while we're seeing fewer, which is a great thing, the ones we do have seem to be some of the very worst.
I have never, yeah.
So while you've gone maybe from 15 a week down to just maybe sometimes none or 1 or 2, the ones we are coming across are not good. And these two exemplify that if you look through the photographs that came from Bill Elling. Pretty bad.
We have a motion and support. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Item number 10 is resolution. I'm sorry. 9 is request of Mike Redzik for authorization to seek legal action to abate a public nuisance drug house by padlocking located at 1335 Commonwealth in the amount of $10,000, which is budget in line item 101-950-000-801-023.
So moved.
Support.
There's a motion by Lovejoy Rose, support by Gerald Rowe to approve the padlock public nuisance. Mike, would you like to speak to this since it's a little bit different?
This is a padlock case under state law. This particular house is in the Holmes Neighborhood Watch District. Both the Sheriff's Department and the State Police Lawnet Unit did a narcotics trafficking investigation at this property in May of this year. The investigation yielded evidence of both heroin and cocaine trafficking out of that house by a subject who moved in there last year after he was released from prison on parole and moved in with his family, who was the tenant at this rental property. After the police investigation, it was reviewed, and we determined there was enough qualifying factors under the state padlocking law, so we obtained administrative authority, and our attorneys did file this case. The show cause hearing is scheduled for tomorrow in the circuit court, and we're asking you to affirm that authorization tonight. And this is the 14th padlock case we have filed since state law got changed, giving us the authority and the standing to file these cases, and we have prevailed on every one so far.
Any other questions or comments?
Madam Chair.
Yes.
I just, for Mike, I believe if I'm not understanding that in our emails about this, it was partly due to residents commenting or bringing up concern.
Yes,
and
yes,
so,
there had been complaints and tips.
Just to continue to encourage people to comment back to the township if necessary, but also, it's just so sad. It breaks my heart. This is the second padlock case that we'll have in the Holmes Road area this year. So, substance misuse is a huge...
And padlock is for specific reasons, drug trafficking?
There's 7 or 8 qualifying crimes: drug trafficking, human trafficking, prostitution, gambling, dogfighting, illegal liquor sales are included among those. And under state law, we have the authority to file these cases, and if we convince a judge that it is a public nuisance, it can be declared such by the court, and the court has the authority to order it padlocked closed for up to 1 year. And that's what we are seeking in this case. This is a rental property. It's been a rental property for quite some time. It's owned by a company out of Saline, and this is one of 8 rental properties in Ypsilanti Township that they operate.
All right. We have a motion support. Any other comment? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Number 10 is Resolution 2018-21, the Established Township Supervisor Salary. Clerk Rowe.
I have a resolution 2008-21, establish supervisor staff salary. Whereas according to MCL 4195, a township that does not hold an annual meeting, the salary for elected officials shall be determined by the board. And whereas in 2018, AFSCME, Teamsters, administrative and confidential employees, and the elected officials did not receive a wage increase and remained at their 2017 salaries. And whereas in 2018, the Teamster and firefighter contracts were negotiated and ratified with a 3% increase in wages. And whereas in 2018, the administrative confidential employees received a 3% raise. And whereas the AFSCME contract is currently being negotiated, now therefore be resolved, the salary for the office of supervisor shall receive a 3% increase from $79,419 to $81,782.20. And be that further resolved that elected officials' wages will be paid bi-monthly per our auditor's recommendation. I would so move the resolution.
Motion Rowe.
Madam Chair.
Jim. Trustee Wilson.
Yes, I just want to say that regarding our 3 full-time officials' pay, I'd like to have the 3 full-time officials here present. So I would table. I would move to table the resolutions regarding supervisor, clerk, and treasurer's salary. So that way, that would give our treasurer an opportunity to have input on this conversation at our next meeting.
I'd support, but we already had a motion, but I guess if you.
Tabling supersedes anything. So there's a motion to table until the next
board meeting.
support. Gerald Rowe supported it. So when you do a tabling motion, and this is for items 10, 11, and 12,
Yes.
roll call vote. Gerald Rowe,
Yeah.
Eldridge,
Yes.
Ross Williams,
Yes.
Lovejoy Rowe,
Yes.
Stumbo, yes. Wilson.
Yes.
Those three items are tabled. Under authorization and bids, we have the request of Carl Gerbach Residential Services to waive the financial policy and accept the low quote for a trailer sales of Michigan for the purchase of a trailer in the amount of $7,390, which is budgeted in line item 101-774-000-977000.
I would so move.
Support.
Motion Lovejoy Rowe, support Gerald Rowe. Discussion? This is to transport the skid steer and brush deck that we purchased, and the current trailers did not, were not able to haul it because it was too heavy. We have a motion support. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. The next item is a request of Eric Copeland, our fire chief, to award the low bid for the roof replacement at the Hewitt Street Fire Station to Rapid Roofing in the amount of $15,167, budget in line item 206-970-000-971-008.
Move to approve.
Support.
Motion Wilson, support Gerald Rowe. Is there discussion?
Just like to add to the motion, or to, if it's acceptable, friendly to add to the motion that be subject to the contract being approved, designed and approved by the attorney, so we don't have a contract yet. If that's all right with everybody?
I would accept that friendly amendment.
Same. And Madam Chair, I'd just like to add that I'm excited and looking forward to our township business being the low bidder, and it's all great. Good.
Chief?
Good evening, Board. I'd like to add that Rapid Roof has previously done work in the township. They installed the roof at our Ford Boulevard station. They did a very good job, and when there was any issues, because they're local, they were there the next day to take care of any of the problems.
Good.
Madam Chair.
Yes.
Just one other thing is that I drive past the Ford Boulevard station every day, and it looks great, and I'm just proud of the township for putting money back into our fire and services for our residents. Looks good.
Thank you for that. There's more to come.
Thank you,
Not too much more now.
Township voters, yeah.
I did have one thing to add.
On this agenda?
Yeah.
Okay.
I just like, I don't know if you remember, but this is the same company that did the main fire station, as the chief just said. But I don't know if you remember, but they said they were moving to the township at that time, and they actually have moved and located in the township. So I think that's really cool that it's a township business.
Yeah, that's great. Trustee Ross Williams?
I will wait until basically we vote on this. I just wanted to say thank you for some things, so just, yeah.
So we have a motion support. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Other business?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just want to make sure I extend a thank you to Supervisor Brenda Stumble and also Clerk Lovejoy Rowe for coming out to the meeting on July 9th in the West Willow community to talk about neighborhood traffic safety. Also, just make sure other officials were present at the meeting, include both of the county commissioners, Ruth Ann Jemnick and also Ricky Jefferson, and also our state representative, Ronnie Peterson, and an official from the region of MDOT University Region. So I just want to make sure I just extended a thank you to all of the officials that came out, including the Washtenaw County Sheriff's Office.
Okay, thank you. I did distribute for everyone. There's going to be a mailing to notify the residents of the recycling. This is a big issue. Waste Management will no longer pick up recycling that's contaminated. So we have to make sure that it's appropriate, and there's a lot of things people are putting into it that they're not aware of. So we want to do a mailing and with the educational piece attached to it, and hopefully we can get that issue solved with the residents, including myself. A lot of information was recycling, but when in doubt, throw it out is what the waste management said, and recycle right. So there's a lot of reasons to do it. So just
One
wanted to-
last announcement. I just had one last announcement. I have two draft ballots at the back of the table, and the reason I have two is because one is for, you can look at it, it says LSCS, that's for Lincoln Community Schools, because they do have a bond issue on the ballot, and the other one's for Ypsilanti Schools, so feel free to take those. If you live in the Ypsilanti School District, the ballots are the same regardless of what the precinct, what it says. Same thing for the Lincoln School, ones on the back. You can still get absentee ballots up until 4 o'clock on the Monday, the day before the election. We will be open on Saturday, August, what is that, 5th, 4th, before like every other clerk's office in the state of Michigan for absentee voting between 9 to 2. You could come in, get your application, and vote any day this week or any other day before the election. Or we're here from 8:30 to 4:30. We do close from lunch from 12 to 1, so vote absentee if you want. Thank you.
A motion to adjourn is in order?
Second.
Motion Eldridge, support Ross Williams. All in favor?
Aye.
Meeting adjourned.